I would like to be traded to any other team but the New England Patriots.
Big brain predictions. That's what I got.
Take it off, sir.
Both teams beat the Steelers.
All right.
And that person.
EDP.
Yes, but if we lose this game, I firmly believe we do not need to make playoffs. So
Don't you ever disrespect me.
I don't know if you caught that shit. Welcome back.
I did. I was like, maybe we can make this transition back seamlessly. Like they have to.
Now that the voices are actually matching the mouth movements. Welcome back to episode 64. I'm your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I feel like this is what makes the show have character. Shows you we are human people.
Shaq.
I'm your other co-host, Shaquille Brown.
And of course, Malin.
Yes, I'm your favorite ball.
Oh, after 64 episodes, he's still trying to tune in for professional radio. You're a very committed person. And if that's the case, you're either Jets fans or Brown fans. So,
Folks, we want to thank you for joining us yet again for another episode. We are going to start this one off strong like we always do with our opening shot. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers. How's that Jack Apple taste?
Very good.
very good.
It's disgusting.
Malin, would you like to enlighten the people at home what you are drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking the Weller Special Reserve that I'm sipping on. So I've got a Ava Maria cigar with me so that I can get through Shaq's nonsense for the next however long you want to do this show tonight, Jalen.
Well, we will get right into things. Just wanted to mention that if you are watching the show now, I guess I should say now, you can watch the show on Spotify. So everybody out there that listens to the music or podcasts through Spotify, like a decent human being, you can now watch the video version through Spotify. Every other podcast platform you still can only listen to, but if you are one of those people who do not have Spotify, you can still watch the show live on YouTube every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just check us out on the Melheims Media YouTube channel. You can come join the live chat. You can say hi. You can talk noise. You can do whatever you want to do in that chat. It is free chat. It's wide open. It's completely public.
I like that the free benefit of Spotify that Starbucks gives to partners just became less beneficial because we're on it now. So it's good.
Well, hate to disgrace a platform, but we're here to stay.
Oh, we're trying to get at every platform. Okay.
Folks, Shaq and I predicted every single game in the preseason, and this is actually old. I did not even, folks, I'm sorry, I'm slacking. I forgot to update our preseason prediction records. Don't even worry about it. It has no bearing on the show whatsoever. Like, these numbers look a little odd. Anyway, that just saves us a little bit of time. So we can get right into the first topic of the week. So seeing that this is our last episode before Christmas this Saturday, I figured it'd be appropriate for us to gift any team within professional sports with a new player or coach, as long as it is something reasonable. Like, we're not going to sit here and suddenly say that the Detroit Tigers are going to sign Russell Westbrook, even though that the Lakers would love that. But let's, be realistic here, at least to some degree. So we are going to go around, and each of us are going to give one gift of a player or a coach and trade them or sign them to a different team. I'm going to just kick this thing off. I had two, but if I can only give one gift,
I'll give two.
I'll mention the other one briefly. Tyler Huntley. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers should sign Tyler Huntley come next year and give themselves a shot at bailing them out of the Ben Roethlisberger bomb that's about to go off come next summer. So I'm just throwing that out there. That is my number two. I think that they should look into making that happen. You can take that for whatever it's worth. On the primary one, though, this was, I think we talked about this last week. The trade of Simmons for Westbrook. Go ahead and take that deal, Lakers. Go ahead and just trade away Russell Westbrook. Take Ben Simmons in exchange. You can thank me later. All your problems will disappear. Your headaches will be gone. Russell Westbrook will go to Philly and screw up Joel Embiid's chances at winning a title. And instead, you will have a scared to shoot guard. But I think Laker fans right now would take scared to shoot over, would just shoot at anything at this point. So that's my gift to the Lakers, is a Westbrook for Simmons trade. Would either one of you guys like to volunteer to go next?
I mean, I can go next. You already kind of partially covered what was going to be my top wish, is that the Steelers, mine's a 2-for-1, the Steelers would go ahead and force Big Ben into retirement, force him to be like, I'm done, and then to follow that up, literally sign any free agent quarterback coming into.
Okay.
and any free, does not matter, any free agent quarterback. If you can get rid of one of these two set, if anything, we can keep Rudolph. I don't mind keeping Rudolph, as bad as that sounds. Get rid of the other dead weight that we got on the quarterback position and sign legit any other free agent quarterback coming on. This man has played way too long, and unfortunately, he is the weak link of our team. I love him to death. He did great for our franchise in his prime. But Homeboy has played 2 to 3 seasons longer than he should have. So I'm going to go ahead and say my wish is that they go ahead and make this man retire and go ahead and hang his jersey up in the stadium or whatever they need to do and go ahead and draft somebody to come in and start rebuilding this team the way they need to while our good players are still in their prime or still functional.
Do you have anybody in particular?
Nope, does not matter. Does not matter. Anybody with 2 legs and a solid elbow.
So Shaq is giving an empty box for Christmas. There's a name on it. It's to the Steelers, but there's nobody in it.
There's nobody. Just anybody you. There's like maybe 2 or 3 players that probably worse in the league right now that probably wouldn't benefit us at all put on this team. But for the rest of these quarterbacks that may be looking for another team, they could probably benefit our team for the most part.
No surprise that one.
Yes.
All
Malin.
right, so a couple of things because we're a distinguished radio program. I want to say that as Russell Westbrook is playing for the Lakers, I think he'd be even worse playing baseball for the Detroit Tigers, Jalen, as you said. So that's the first thing I'd like to point out. I think you meant the Detroit Pistons. Second,
No.
I'd also like to.
I meant the Tigers.
You meant the Tigers. Okay, damn. All right, well, yeah, out there in left field, just picking his nose.
Exactly.
And then I like the fact that Jalen wants Pittsburgh to get Huntley, who's only started 1 game in the NFL, so that his Patriots can continue to run roughshod all over the AFC. That is his plan, Shaq. Don't think he's being nice. Okay. And then Shaq wants, the Amish rifle Andy Dolphin next year, apparently. That's who he wants.
Rifle over Big Ben any day of the week right now.
Jesus Christ.
This man is so disrespectful. I cannot believe that I am the one person on this show that actually hates Ben Roethlisberger, but I'm the one guy defending his honor. That's the position that you put me in, Shaq, and I don't like it. But anyways,
you see him
going towards my gift. What?
You see him play? He's got precisely 5
Oh.
minutes worth of hard football left in him. That's why he saves it
You
for the
would
fourth
take
quarter.
Andy Dalton over Big Ben. Are you serious? That's just
Dude.
blind hate.
At this point, he wants Tim Hasselbeck from ESPN to come out of retirement and play for the Steelers.
At this point, I'll take either one of the Manning brothers out of broadcasting and throw the football around.
He would take Cooper Manning, that played wide receiver in high school, as his quarterback right now. Because at least he tells some great jokes in the huddle. Anyways, on to my gifts. So I got 2 for my Seahawks. This is what I got. 1, I'm going big. I want Jonathan Taylor. I want 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns in 14 games. That's what I want for my Seahawks offense. Why? Because Russell Wilson ain't shit without a good running game. He's proved it. It's what it is. That's just where we're at. And you know what? I want Doug Peterson as my head coach of the Seahawks next year. I love you, Pete Carroll. You have done a lot for this organization. I appreciate you. Go be president of some farm club. I don't care. Go back to USC. But Doug Peterson is from Washington. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's an offensive mind. It doesn't matter who you put offensive coordinator. You're not going to fix the offense as long as Pete Carroll and his defensive philosophy is in charge. I hate it. I hate to say it because I love Pete Carroll and that crooked ass nose and those Nike Monarchs. I love him to death. I'm always going to hug him for that 43 to 8 Super Bowl win, but it is what it is. That was back in 2013. We're going into 2022, and we're missing the playoffs for the second time in 10 years. First losing season under Russell Wilson. That's terrible. So that's what I want, people.
That's a pretty nice little wish list there. Jonathan Taylor and Dougie P. That would be interesting.
Be amazing.
That's an excellent segue right into our next topic of the week. Folks, if you are watching this after the fact, feel free to leave your wish list down below as well. But we're going to get into our recap of last week in the NFL. And I think we'll just start off right where Mainland left off at with his Seahawks. They did lose to the Rams last night on a very strange Tuesday night game. Mainland, the floor is all yours.
Okay, so I know I have 5 minutes. There's a lot to unpack here, people. Stay with me. First of all, it's complete and utter bullshit. Now, hold on, Shaq. If you have another button on your T-shirt, Shaq, button it up and put a tie on because we're getting distinguished. So, anyways,
buttons.
it is. You didn't think I was going to be able to throw on a hack on this shirt, did you? So, anyways, it is bullshit that the NFL started all of a sudden moving games. Okay, that's the first thing I'll get into. Because they came out in the beginning of the year saying that if anyone can't field a team, you're going to forfeit. Then all of a sudden, you got some playoff teams that are going to end up having to forfeit or not be able to play good football games, meaning the Rams, you had Cleveland, you had Washington. So like, oh, you know what? Forget the fact that Aaron Rodgers had to miss a game because of COVID, and they put Green Bay out there earlier in the year. Now, because it's starting to get a little tighter, they're like, we'll start moving stuff around. So all they did was allow for the time of, Seattle to lose key players and the Rams to get key players back. So we ended up losing one of our best corners. We ended up losing Tyler Lockett, while the Rams got back Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller. They ended up getting Odell Beckham Jr. back. They ended up getting Higbee back. They get all these players. So that's the first thing. That's bullshit. Second, the Seahawks played like hot ass last night. Okay, I'll admit it, people. America, it was disgusting. Wilson completed well under 60% of his passes, no touchdowns, 100-something yards, 1 interception at the end of the game. Should have been a pass interference, whatever. We'll talk about that in a second. But Russell Wilson was a step off on every throw. Like, DK Metcalf beat Ramsey like he was a redheaded stepchild last night. Like, Ramsey had 3 flags on him, 2 holding, 1 pass interference. Why? Because Metcalf was running by him every damn time. Did Wilson see it? No. Why? Because he doesn't have stilettos on people and he's short. So he kept underthrowing. I don't know what the touch problem is. I don't know what's going on with Wilson, but he needs to fix it. So, yes, we played like hot ass last night. 3 of 11 on 3rd down. No running game whatsoever. It was terrible. But now let's talk about some officiating. Because that is my biggest gripe. There were 3 calls that led Rams points during that game, and it was ridiculous. We should have had them on the 3 and out, deep in their own territory, until all of a sudden Cooper Kupp got apparently held by somebody that he was practically trying to put, a power move on in the WWE. So that was ridiculous. And then all of a sudden they marched down and scored a touchdown. Have you ever heard of a false start on a running back in your life, Jalen? Have you ever heard that call?
I cannot say that I have.
I am 40 goddamn years old, and I have never heard a false start being called on a running back. Yet on the 3rd and 1, that happened. And then on 4th and 6, it's a lot like what happened a few years ago when the Rams ended up going to the Super Bowl. Apparently a linebacker can go ahead and maul a running back like a bear in the wild and you not get a call called on you. But you want to go ahead and flight DJ Dallas for being pissed off and kicking the football. Why? Because he was mauled by a fucking bear. So I do think that the officiating was atrocious. I do think that the Seahawks played like hot ass. But there have been plenty of times where the Seahawks have played like hot ass and end up winning the game because they put themselves in a position to win the game. And they would have been in a position on the 40-yard line with 4 minutes left to go ahead and tie the game. And who knows what would have happened because the game was back and forth. Stafford wasn't playing great. Cooper Kupp was the only person actually playing great during the entire game. That was it. The Rams defense wasn't necessarily getting a whole lot of pressure. There were only 3 sacks on Wilson. He caused all of them by holding on to the ball too long and ducking and diving and dodging, acting like he was playing dodgeball. Ended up losing. Can't run to save his life now. So we had a shot to win the game, but yet apparently a linebacker can just tackle somebody and hold their arms down, and apparently the NFL is fine with that. So I hope that's under 5 minutes. That's my take. I'm still pissed off. And yes, there's going to be a lot of drinking during this holiday season up until January 1st because of that. Thank you.
Shaq, do you have anything to say about this?
Unfortunately, things played out the way they are, but here we are. This is the season of unfortunate events for a lot of our teams, except for Jalen. So
this is the time of year where you realize what you're going to be doing come January.
Yes, our eyes kind of opened up to what's going on, and either A, your team's making it, 2, they're not making it, or 3, it's gonna take a godforsaken miracle for whatever your ambitions are. So that's where we rely on that.
Okay, true or false? There was some shitty calls in that game last night.
There were some shitty calls, but that's the thing. It's like you kind of have to be good enough to overcome those shitty calls, but you guys can't keep your offense on the field for more than like 7 minutes a game, and that's that.
Yeah, we did lose. Okay, first of all, we had 20 minutes time of possession.
Oh,
we did lose time of possession by 10 minutes. I get it, but we were still in position. We were driving. It was 3rd and 1 until all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I heard a running back false start. Someone's knees buckled, and then it was 4th and it was 3rd and 6. And I don't know why they ran the play they did to DJ Dallas on 3rd and 6. I don't know what that was. That was stupid. But then on 4th and 6, that was pass interference. We should have had the ball on the 40-yard line, 40 yards to go, to tie the game. Would we fuck it up 50-50, half a dozen or another? Probably, but give us the shot. Like, refs should not be dictating the outcome of a game, and officiating by and large this year has been horrendous.
Yeah, there has been a lot of questionable calls throughout throughout this year. Yeah, I think that's a good segue right into our next game of this week's recap. So this was last Thursday. It seems like this was a year ago at this point, but on Thursday Night Football, the Chiefs did beat the Chargers in overtime, 34-28, in basically a shootout. The two young guns going back and forth. Very, very entertaining game to watch. However, though, a lot of us wrote off the Chiefs in the beginning of the year, and now here they are, large and in charge. I mean, not large, but they are currently in charge of the AFC. Where do you guys stand on the Chiefs right now? Like, would you want to play them if the playoffs started, say, this weekend? Shaq, will go to you first.
I would not. I feel like they kind of sort of regained some sort of momentum of what they were as a team. Granted, as can they maintain is a true question. I feel like will Mahomes change into like his true form when it comes time for postseason? Will he clutch it up for his team, or is he gonna resort back to early season Post Malone? Not Post Malone, Patrick Mahomes, where he slips back and he can't maintain. I'm sorry.
Professional radio.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. He was playing like Post Malone this season.
You might as well be.
Yes, but like if he maintains what he's doing right now, late season, I would not want to play them at all come postseason. But this is just a story of if they can maintain what they got going on right now.
Malin?
The thing with the Chiefs right now is that you don't know which team you're going to get because they're dead even on turnovers right now. Okay? So they've taken the ball away, 14 interceptions and 11 fumbles, but they've given the ball away, 13 interceptions and 12 fumbles. So they're 25-25. So the problem is when you get into the playoffs, like, are the turnovers going to end up killing something that could have been special? Because that's really the only thing that's getting in their own way right now. They do have a little bit of a COVID issue right now with Kelsey and Hill going into this week. They might not play. I really do think they need the number one seed. They need the bye, I think. You want to be able to play the AFC Championship game in KC if you're the Chiefs in front of your home stadium. In your home crowd. I don't know what Chiefs team you're going to see because they've ripped off a good number of wins, but they've won ugly, they've won good, but they've also lost ugly and they've lost really bad. And so do I want, like, I don't know. They just have not played consistent the entire year. And even when they're winning, they have not been playing consistent. And it does concern me the fact that, listen, Mahomes, man, he was 31-47, 410 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have that one INT. But the fact that Mahomes was the leading rusher last game, 3 carries for 32 yards, like, that's a problem. The Chiefs have to have a running game going into the playoffs. And right now they don't have it. And I don't know that they trust Edwards because Edwards is a big part of that fumble. I think he's had 7 fumbles this year. And so you cannot have the turnovers rearing its ugly head going into the playoffs. And I have no idea if that's going to happen or not right now.
I will kind of bring a little bit of nuance to this. Like you said, if they are at home at Arrowhead, I do not want to play the Chiefs. However, if you can get them at your stadium early in the playoffs, I think they could be had because they are, like, it seems like they're back for the most part, but they still have some of the same issues that they've been having all year. And I think that if you could get them on the road early in the playoffs, like the first round, you could actually win a game on them. The thing is, I feel like they're the type of team that in the postseason, they gain a lot of momentum once it comes down to like the championship game. So when it comes to that point, and I think like they can smell, hey, we have a shot to go to the Super Bowl on the line, they really like play out of their minds. And past few AFC championship games have all been at Kansas City, so we haven't really got to see them in that scenario in a different setting. So who knows? But if it's early in the playoffs, I would say sure, take them. But later on, I really would not like anybody's chances.
The only thing that really kind of concerns me is that they're so one-dimensional right now. Like when they've gone to the Super Bowl the last 2 years, they've had Sammy Watkins is that third wide receiver. They tried to bring in Josh Gordon this year, didn't work out. Running backs haven't worked out. It's Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey or bust, and you can't be that one-dimensional in the playoffs. So the defense has been playing really good lately. But that type of one-dimensional offense just makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I think what we saw from them in overtime, which is literally just that trio, that was like a microcosm of what's going to come next month. Like that's what they're gonna have boiled themselves down to is just that big three, and that is all they have at the end of the day. So we'll see what happens with the reigning AFC champs if that continues. Staying in the AFC, it finally happened, folks. My team finally lost a game. Yeah, I know. It's been
Oh darn!
2 months, 3 months, 4 months.
Must be nice.
Show off.
We lost by 10 points in Indy. Our defense just could not do anything with Jonathan Taylor, and that's what it came down to. The final play, the nail in the coffin, was Jonathan Taylor. That summed up the entire game. But we had our chances. Like at one point, we were right in the red zone with the chance. If we would have scored, we would have been down by just one possession, and we would have been right back into the game. But drop passes, penalties knocked us back, and we had to settle for a field goal. And unfortunately, the Colts did capitalize on that, and they just kept their foot on the gas. And yeah, it was really disappointing to lose in that fashion. Like I hate when there's that little bit of hope and you actually do something about it, and then the other team just comes and slams the door, and that's that, and you just miss out on that tiny bit of space that you had. But yeah, defense could not stop Jonathan Taylor. Carson Wentz really had to do little to nothing. He had extremely low amount of yards. I think he passed for like 60 yards to finish the game with something around there. The strange fact, like if you were to say that Carson Wentz is going to throw for less than 100 yards and beat the New England Patriots, you would be like, what the hell are you talking about? But that's what happened. Usually would take away what a team does best, but Taylor still had his field day. And Indianapolis was nuts. Like it was like a just sound machine in there. Like it was amped up to the absolute max from start to finish. It was as if it was a playoff game. Yeah, Mac Jones seemed probably a bit overwhelmed, and I mean I don't blame the guy. It was obviously a lot for him to take in. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that one. Malin?
Well, first I'd like to say that, Vegas knows a lot more than I do. So when I took New England last week, even though Vegas was giving them points, they knew better. I'm really confident in New England in this game. What it really came down to was the fact that Indianapolis was able to stop New England's running game, and New England wasn't able to stop Jonathan Taylor because the leading rusher for the Patriots only had 36 yards on 10 carries. So that meant that the Patriots had to put the ball into Jones' hands. And, he didn't do terrible. He was 26 to 45, 299, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He did make a couple costly, picks in that game. But it really came down to the fact that Taylor was just able to do whatever he wanted to do for 170 yards. Vegas knows a lot, and what they do know is that Taylor's going to get his yards and Wentz is terrible because Wentz 5 of 12 for 57 yards and a touchdown. Like that's all he had in the whole game. That's ridiculous. I get that Indianapolis is playing strong defense. I get that Jonathan Taylor has done what few running backs have been able to do and get themselves into the MVP conversation because he's been able to stay healthy. He's been running like crazy. And the Colts are probably getting to the playoffs, but this is completely unsustainable. There has been the last 3 games. I don't think Wentz has passed for over 200 yards in any of those games. It's completely unsustainable. At some point in the playoffs, you're gonna get got. So they won. I get it. Sometimes, in my opinion, the better team does lose because of any given Sunday. I do think the Patriots are still the better team. But the Patriots need more than 36 yards out of their leading rusher if they're going to win a football game because Jones is still a rookie.
Shaq?
Yeah, kind of what Milan said is like I have more faith in New England as a whole entire team when it comes to a collective effort than I do the Colts. I see them falling apart to a degree once they hit playoffs, and I still have faith in young boy in New England to pull through as a quarterback. There's just a lot of pressure. I feel like they're kind of putting through on him, but I still have more faith on him and the whole entire team than I do the Colts. So it's like even though they lost, I still just think this is a take away from New England as a team, which is hard for me to say. Come from the rest of the sports world that loves to hate New England on a whole, but I still got faith in them.
And this is the type of Patriots team that gives Bill Belichick wet dreams, all right? Like, he needs a strong running game, a good defense, and a quarterback that isn't getting all the glory. Like, this is Bill Belichick's. Like, if he can win a Super Bowl next couple years, like, my God, you might see him running down the street naked in Las Vegas. There ain't nothing outside the question if he can win one without Brady. Because right now, he's at home just dreaming of how great they can be in the playoffs.
Yeah, if we did meet them again in the playoffs, and knock on wood here, I would like to see them again in the playoffs because I find it very hard to believe that they'd be able to beat us in the same manner that they beat us this time around. It's hard to see that happening. But hey, I still tip my hat to each his own. They played a good game. But it would be interesting to see what happens if they do make the playoffs and somebody else plays them. How they slow down Jonathan Taylor, whoever they play, how that factors in. But anyway, moving into the next game here. This one we're going right to Shaq's team.
Yeah, but
Sunday afternoon, Titans and Steelers faced off again. And the Steelers were able to just barely hold off the Tennessee Titans. It's a common theme with the Steelers here. 19-13 was the final score. I did predict the over on this one, America. I apologize for even bothering with that one, but here we are. Yeah, Shaq. We predicted the AFC North 2 weeks ago. Do you still think that's your prediction will pan out the way that you thought it would?
because I predicted that they would make a wild card, if I'm not mistaken, last season. I still think it's very much possible for them to win a wild card with the COVID hitting the other teams in our division, with the injuries that are hitting with the other division. Unfortunately, it's a very shameful way to make playoffs for us to capitalize on having a somewhat healthy team to a degree. But if we could find a way to capitalize on the fact that we got a full healthy team, we might be going up against the other teams in the division that may have a couple backups in there and not fully healthy teams, we could very much if we could smart enough and be like, yo, this is the time to strike, we very much could take this wild card spot right now.
What do you think about this game in particular?
Of course, it's another Steelers typical game, cutting it very fucking close towards the last. Like, would I love to have a confident game for once where we don't have to wait till last minute to decide we need to win the game? Yes. So that's my only complaint about this is please stop leaving it the last moment to decide that you need to win the game, because come postseason, this is not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot wait till a playoff game to decide, you know what, fourth quarter, we ready to play football. Right. We need to be consistent for 4 quarters of football. But it's a Steelers. Unfortunately, this has been season long, probably 2 seasons long of football problems that we've had of wait the last moment. But A win is a win at the end of the day, and I'm glad to take my win for my Steelers.
Malin?
Well, first, like, Shaq needs to get on my level when it comes to like games that you should win and 1-point games and being stressful, because the Seahawks over the last decade, 78% of the games we played in the regular season have been decided by one score or less. Okay? So get on my level first about just being angry during a 3-hour football game. That's my life over the last decade. Second, I would just like America to realize that Shaq did nothing but talk shit for 3 minutes about big men and want the Amish rifle. Anybody else, I don't know, somebody with 2 legs, maybe Forrest Gump, I don't give a shit, wants him playing quarterback for the Steelers, yet he thinks they're going to make the wild card this year. Sir, you won 19-13. You were down 13-3 going into the second half. Big Ben had 148 yards passing, and Harris, who everyone's like, oh my God, we got a running game in Pittsburgh, and he's about to win somebody's fantasy leagues. 12 carries for 18 yards, and y'all still won the game. Okay? I don't think it's any coincidence that the Matrix movie comes out next week, and you just won a game that seemed to be played in the fucking Matrix. Like, that just shouldn't happen. So I don't think that Steelers are going to win. Going into the, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're third in their own division right now. And the way that I know that the North is so completely screwed up is the fact that if Cleveland had won on Monday, they would have been number 1 in the division. They lost, and they're like 12th in the AFC. So that's not a knock on how bad or good Cleveland is. That's just a knock on how mediocre that division is. So I don't know. Like, even if y'all make the playoffs, y'all going to be bounced like my kid out of a bounce house on a water slide. That's
Like
just
last
ridiculous.
year.
But yeah. And last year, you guys started 11-0, and you were still talking shit all the way until you got your ass beat in the playoffs.
You got catapulted straight out of the walkout game.
So this is one of those like schizophrenic moments where Shaq is thinking positive about his team, because by the end of this program, he's going to be talking shit about how bad they are again.
What do y'all offer me? When I talk bad about my team, y'all complain that we talk bad about my team. I come here talking positive. Y'all like, fuck you. We need the other version of you back. Y'all never pleased with whatever version of me y'all get.
I just want you to be consistent.
No, I'm trying to use all parts of this forehead y'all be trying to roast and think of great outcomes of our football team.
I mean, I see you trying, but you're failing.
Today's the right side of the forehead. I'm trying
to. You might need to rub that noggin a little bit.
Before we go too far into the abyss here, the Titans, on paper, like, won this game in so many different ways. It's sad that they somehow could not actually win this in the most important category.
I was going to say the only important part of this category.
Yeah, I mean, time of possession, they had almost twice the time of possession. First downs had almost twice the amount of first downs. They're better on third downs. It was just all around a much better game for the Titans. But the glaring stat that stuck out here is the Titans could not take care of the football. They had 4 turnovers. They were rivaling Westbrook on this one, but they had 3 fumbles. Tannehill threw a pick. And one of those fumbles I remember was also his fault as well. They just cost themselves this game at the end of the day. Like, they had a couple opportunities to score the ball and just gave it away, and that was that. And at the end of the day, the Steelers' defense came in handy like it has pretty much all year when they absolutely needed to, and was able to give them yet another win. But, Jack, like you said, this is not really sustainable. Come January, if they are in the playoffs, there is a team out there that is licking their chops saying, man, if we played them, we blow the doors off of them.
Yeah, it's like for once and for once for the past couple of years, we are the team that somebody hopes to get lucky to run across come postseason. It's like, please give us the Steelers play round one.
Yeah.
First of all, don't act like that hasn't been the Steelers for like the last 6 years. Okay, everybody wants to play the Steelers in the playoffs for the last 6 years.
Untrue. I would only go back
Second,
2 years.
Let's
What?
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and give a golf clap for the fact that Steelers beat a team who their best player ain't played for 6 weeks. Yes, he's still number 5 on the rushing list, and Derrick Henry. Good win.
Can I just say that
Good win.
we have 2 players that have played for us in the past 5 years or so now ending up on the Bucks too. Can we discuss that?
Well,
We'll talk about that later, Shaq. Stop jumping things.
I just want to put that out there. That's very frustrating.
Your
to me.
forehead's getting ahead of yourself.
Of course, it's always been ahead of myself.
does this change how I think the division will play out? I don't know. Like Malin was saying, this is so weird. Like they're all within a game of each other. And you know, with all 4 of those teams, you have no idea which team you're going to get on any given Sunday. So very hard to predict them. But the Steelers have a legit shot, as do the other 3 of them equally, to win this division. So it's hard for me to say.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, going into the playoffs, real quick, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Who are your top 4 teams going into the playoffs?
Nobody out of that division, I'll tell you that much.
In the AFC right now.
Kansas City, New England. The other 2, Buffalo, and I don't know. That 4th spot is very random. Like I want to say Indy, but then they have their moments. I want to say Baltimore. I would have said Baltimore, but right now I don't know with them.
America, I love the fact that what Jalen said is that I gave a top 4, and he didn't say nobody from that division. Okay,
Right.
and that is what everyone else is thinking, because everybody's flawed. Big Ben throws for 150 yards a game. Lamar Jackson, his best weapon is his legs. He doesn't have it anymore with the ankle injury. Baker Mayfield, like, is he a cyborg right now? Like, what the hell is going on with him? Like, that North, somebody is going to win that division to get to the playoffs, and then they're going to get their ass kicked. So that's where we are.
I completely agree. Our division is so flawed. It went from being one of the hardest divisions of football to play into being everybody's wish list of teams to play against come first round of or any point of playoffs. Like I said,
Well,
the fact that the quarterback position is the weakest position in our division right now when it was once one of the greatest. Look,
Jack,
Baker Mayfield, the worst player on his team, come to offensive weapons. I feel like Big Ben, every bone in his body is stiff as can be when it comes to moving around. Homeboy can only move about 5 yards per play. What is our division?
I will say this, Shaq, is that I do think that the North is the best division, top to bottom, as far as talent. Okay? I will say that. There's no other division that you'd be like, listen, anybody could win that division. Okay, injuries have gotten the best of them. I get it, and that's why everyone's kind of licking their chops right now. But that division, like, they've just beaten the crap out of each other all year long, and there's a bunch of injuries right now, and that's why everyone's like, we can beat everybody going into January because they've already beaten themselves up enough.
Yes, we're so inconsistent, and for some reason, we're finding each other as the worst enemies as we should for a division. But like you said, we are just taking every time we play each other like a divisional game, we are just going ham and playing the roughest football we can. But like, come any other team outside of the division, it's kind of like by the time you get to that next week, it's kind of like.
Yeah. Shout out G Money in the chat. Thank you for coming out for another week. He says Mayfield is a better actor than quarterback, and that's not saying much. Just sum this all up. The current 4 quarterbacks in that division as of this past weekend really sums up why this division is where it's at. But you have Burrow, Roethlisberger, Huntley, and what's Buddy's name? Third stringer for Cleveland Browns. Why can't I think of his name all of a sudden?
It's not relevant. No, like when Burrow
Nick
is
something.
the best quarterback, and then you have Huntley that's made one career start. That's all you have to say about the quarterback play right now in that division because of the injuries.
My thing is Cincinnati.
Burrow and then Huntley.
My thing about that is that Cincinnati, love how hyped that team was at the beginning of the season,
Yeah,
but now I
yeah.
feel like they've burnt themselves out of all
Mhm.
the talent and
And
good juju
Oh,
they've had.
they have no they have no
okay.
excuses that they could throw out there.
No, they just burnt themselves. They used up all their good juju and charm at the beginning of
Yeah.
the season. Now, I'm pretty sure they're last in the division right now. Is that
Right now, they're actually first.
are they first now? I thought they
Yeah.
switched it up, but
I
yes.
mean, come,
But I
come on, Shaq. God damn it. Like, you can't talk shit about the number one team in your division
but I
But they're
they're
number one by like
they were
half a
when you
quarter.
thought they were last, but they're actually number one. It's
But my-
because they're healthy.
but
They got Burrow, they got Mixon, they got Higgins, they
But
got
that-
Chase.
not because they're like
That's
the
why they're
best,
number
not
one.
because they're the best team out there. Like it's just because they got the actual roster out there to a full degree, and the only other next full team that's great in roster wise and health is my team. And
Mhm.
look at us sitting here at
Okay.
third place.
Okay, now first of all, Cincinnati right now is more talented than Pittsburgh. Second, if Lamar Jackson was healthy, Baltimore would be number 2. Then Pittsburgh would Big Ben would be number 3. The fact that Harris, the fact that he only had 18 yards in the last game, that's disgusting.
And for it to be a very important game come late season, you think these people are
Right.
trying the hardest, and this man can only pull 18 yards out of his ass to play football.
Like you cannot be a Pittsburgh running back with the last name Harris. Shout out to Franco Harris, and only get 18 yards off of 12 carries, and people not leaving just shit on your doorstep. Like that's what's happening right now in Pittsburgh. Like that was disgusting.
And y'all wonder why
So, yeah.
why I shit my team 1 week and praise them 1 week is because that's how consistent they are. 1 week they can play football, Big Ben pull something out of his ass, the next week you got JV
Yeah.
team out there running around trying to
Listen.
figure out their head from the ass. I don't
Listen, like the last 30 years, Cincinnati might make the playoffs, but they probably lose in the first round and not get that playoff win. So
Yeah.
that's kind of funny. Yeah.
It was
So-
Mullins. Nick Mullins.
Oh,
is
Nick
the
Mullins.
third string.
Yes.
quarterback.
And you know, he was good with San Francisco as the third
Yes.
stringer when Jimmy G got hurt all the time, because that's what
Yeah.
Jimmy G does. But I'm going to
He's
stop
a-
talking because Jalen has a show to run and he needs to keep us on schedule.
Nick Mullins is a serviceable quarterback. I'll give him that. Anyway, last but not least on this part of the recap, the Cardinals got blown out by the Detroit Lions. This is truly the matrix that we're living in. I don't know anything to say about this game, just the fact that I looked at the score. They were down 1 score. Like, nothing, whatever. They were down 2 scores. I'm still like, okay, whatever. Then it just kept spiraling, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And they just couldn't dig themselves out of the hole, and they lost the game. And I have absolutely no comment on this one. Malin, this team is in your division. How the hell did they lose this game?
Oh, this is great because this is what Arizona does. They fold in the second half of the season. They routinely, since Murray has joined the Cardinals, they have been terrible the last 2 weeks in November through the end of December.
That is
Even last year, they were 6-2, 7-2, 8-2. They ended up like 500 record. The year before that, they started off a little bit hot and they lost like 5 of the last 8 games. This is what Arizona does. Cliff Kingsbury, he's not the coach to take them over the top. He had a losing record in college. I don't even know how he got this job in Arizona. But the fact that, like Murray it was 23 or 41, 257, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's not great, but it's not bad. But everyone was given like Murray the MVP like 7 games into the year. And I was like, well, let's just hold on and see what he does second half of the year. Like, he has not looked right. I don't know if you guys have seen him run on and off the field. I think I mentioned it last week.
Mm.
He is running like I am, and I'm 40 years old. Like, I'm old as shit, and he's hobbling around on and off the field like I am. And the fact that Connor, I love James Conner. Jack doesn't like James Conner because
No,
he used to be a
not.
Steeler. But you know, like he was 8 rushes for 39 yards. Right? 22 of those yards was on one play. So he literally was 2.4 yards per carry the other 7 carries. Like, the running game was non-existent. And that can't happen when you don't have DeAndre Hopkins. So the Lions, like, they beat the brakes off of them. Like, it was crazy. Like, Jared Goff is their daddy. It doesn't matter if he's in the Rams or if he's with the Lions. Like, he is their daddy. He threw for 3 touchdowns. When was the last time Goff threw for 3 touchdowns? Probably when he was with the Rams and the Cardinals. So it was a ridiculous game. And you had to see that type of game going. And listen, I don't know that I think that Arizona's going to keep spiraling. I think the Rams are going to win the division. Maybe the Rams win 1 game the rest of the year. Maybe.
You mean the Cardinals?
Cardinals, yes. That's the one time Jalen gets to throw shade at me. God damn it. Billy, that wasn't nice.
I do think that Goff went into this game and he was like, hey guys, trust me. I know this team. I used to play them all the time. It's December. They're going to fold. I got y'all. And he just picked them apart.
and you know that you played a bad football game when you put the Lions on a winning streak.
That's true.
All I gotta say about this is that these are 2 teams that, for some reason, no matter what, but this outcome, they both hurt themselves. The Cardinals hurt themselves with playoff positioning by losing, and Detroit hurt themselves by winning. It's like, motherfuckers, you are on. What are you aiming for? What is your end goal? What is winning games doing for your season right now?
Shaq, Campbell wants to eat a few more kneecaps so that he can be a coach next year.
No,
like,
stop.
That's his.
Stop it.
That's what he wants to do.
Campbell wants to buy a house there. He wants to settle down.
In Detroit?
Like Campbell,
He would love it.
Campbell wants to coach next year. I don't give a goddamn if he buys a house in Flint, Michigan. Like, he wants to coach next year. So
Look,
yes, he wants to win a football game.
nothing
right
says
now.
I want to coach this together and messing up not only my season but my draft pick for next season too. I need you to go out and be Detroit first this season. You already lost your chances. Go ahead. You're already tied with a team you had no business tying to and winning games you had no business winning. Go ahead and lose out the rest of the season.
But what good does that do Campbell if he loses the rest of the year and loses his job? Like, does that draft pick really matter to him? No, he wants to win and keep his job.
Me as an owner is like, you win another goddamn game.
Okay, well, we're talking about the same people that are producing the F-150 right now. So the
first of all, they know a damn thing wrong with my F-150.
Go ahead and hit something with it or try to tow something, Shaq. I see a lot wrong with it.
I'm very content and happy. Thank you very much. But all I'm saying is that winning is probably not your best interest right now with this team. Go ahead and continue what you've been doing the first 3 quarters of the season.
I love the fact that I took a shot at the Lions and I still took a shot at Shaq at the same time. I forgot that he had
I don't know.
That made me so happy as a person.
It's like, first of all, I like you meant that. I was like, this low case shade does not need to be thrown right now.
Listen, my dad owned an F-150 back in the day, and he's no longer here, but still, Ford is losing the pickup truck game to Toyota, so that should tell you something about how the Lions should be doing right now.
Granted, Toyota does put out great
We are
vehicles.
going to get out of this segment.
This is what transitioning into the truck game. This is what it is.
To be here for 6 hours talking about trucks.
30 minutes later, it's like, Dodge puts out
You goddamn right, Mopar, baby.
Hemi engines, my brother. Hemi engines.
Well, we are going to go to a break.
Just like, all right, I know.
And when we come back, we will not be talking about the automobile industry.
Dwight Howard has a son, Joe.
That sentence would cause a war on this show. Dwight Howard drives a Tundra.
Run off a cliff. Make Shaq happy.
with lead tires too.
I want your seatbelt to fail. All right, before the show gets banned by the government for wishing death upon people.
Listen, we're all vaccinated. We're not getting banned.
True that. We will see you guys
Activated
back
chip.
here in 7.5 minutes. Last man standing wins. Team Sonor is the 12th pick. Just that fast. Going back in. Who's going next? Pick 11. Oh, Team Nestor goes. Let's get these out of the way. It's a methodical process. Oh, Team Johnson goes next. Pick number 10. Didn't even care to eat it. Who's next? Oh, Washington football team, DC. Oh, hold on, technicality. The checks is still on the table. Going back in. Oh, Sloth goes. Sorry, Uncle Shaq. Gonna take the paper too. Fair enough. Okay, and then, oh man, Team Meyer. Is he gonna take it? Yeah, he's gonna take it. There it goes. Alright, who's going next? Oh, D+5 off the board. Alright, who's going next? Yeah, the paper does not count. Dowdy goes first, and then Team Lambert. It's going back in. Last four. Who's pick number 4? Team Warren goes at 4. Who's going at 3? Oh, Talking Demon goes at 3. Number 2. Oh, leave your own dad. He put him at number 2. What a shame. Congrats to Morgan, Washington football team, DC, number 1 pick.
I will how about this? Here's my bet. I will show up to the bar with the Juju jersey. If we win, I will give it to you, and you have to wear the Juju jersey on the show next Wednesday if the Steelers win.
But Shaq cannot take the jersey off at any point during the game.
That's fair. fair enough.
On the whole game.
They bring 5. Smith goes sideline. It's caught by Norton, who lost the football, and it's recovered by Sweet. Inbounds with the clock running and no timeouts. And they scramble to kill it. Down to 3 and 2. They line up with 1.
Yeah, pretty freaking plain.
I'm chucking this shit. It's Del Mabry. By the way.
How can you not see that there is 1 second on the clock? This is emotional. Boy, you better spike the shit out of this, Gino. Oh, whoa! What do you mean, wide left? There was... No, he thought we were friends. Yeah, you better full that shit up. We ain't done yet. Come on. Get off the ball.
I respect your attitude here.
We'll be quiet.
No, it's great. You're laughing and having a good time.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
Yeah. My English teacher is the reason I put pressure on your neck. Black intelligence is just as dangerous as a tech. Bet. Don't let me get the buck and have the whole crowd ducking. I ain't even done yet. I just started, I ain't even having fun yet. Still learning, I ain't started going dumb yet. Bum as I succumb to the drum set. Hold your applause, y'all, I wasn't done yet. As I... Oh, y'all think it's a game? That's just feeding the flame that took a seat in my brain. It isn't keeping me sane. Cause don't nobody wanna dance slow in the rain. But we can take it to the dance floor to ease the pain. We can pop, lock, and drop it cause we tired of the topic. Take a trip to the tropics on the beach getting sloppy. Whoa, Kimosabe. Big ballin' is my hobby, but ain't nothing gon' stop it till we seize the reins. Seize it, man. Put it in a headlock, squeeze it, man. Carpe diem, my heart stay beating. It's what y'all needed, believe it, man. I had to seize it, man. Put it in a headlock, squeeze it, man. Carpe diem, my heart stay beating. It's what y'all needed, believe it, man. I just had a breakthrough. There ain't nothing y'all can do with me. I just...
Where's the phone? Where's the phone? Sergeant Scott, get the fuck out of here!
Tell them to fall back. Tell them to fall back.
You're cut off! Do something!
First question. Who is currently leading the NFL in reception yards?
I'm going with Arizona.
I'm a player. Sorry, player.
Larry. I'm going with Larry.
Larry who?
Fitzgerald.
Oh my God. No.
Current.
No.
Currently.
He's not still on the Arizona Cardinals? Where's he at?
Cooper.
Cup.
Just drink.
Oh, okay.
Which current quarterback that is actively playing has thrown the most interceptions so far this season?
Heineke.
No. Okay, no. It's Mahomes and Zach Wilson. Dang it.
Really?
Yes.
Drink.
Yes.
You deserve that L. Do it.
Your head coach, Ron Rivera, he won a Super Bowl in the 80s as a part of what team?
Fuck it, Michigan.
No.
Wait.
NFL.
NFL. Oh. Oakland Raiders.
That was a good guess.
That's good. It was Washington, wasn't it?
It was the Bears, actually.
Oh, the Bears. Okay.
Which current running back, has the most yards at the first initial contact?
Jesus.
45 seconds.
What was your
You were wiping your forehead. Don't worry about it.
What they got to do with me and my
Henry.
Does me wiping my forehead change time?
It does because that's like a time zone.
Who was our quarterback in Washington or Redskins? He was the first black quarterback on the Washington football team. Why are you asking me this? Oh my God. Jason Campbell.
No,
hell no.
I want to see the first black
Get
quarterback.
out of here.
Nigga, he's black and he ain't.
He was the first black quarterback on Washington football team.
Or Doug Williams is just as black. Ryan knows he needs some water.
If Ryan makes you do the entirety of this show, give him a medal honor for it.
I mean, listen, hey, he thought that Fitzgerald was still playing, so he's playing with that day.
And not just still playing, but had no.
At an all-pro level.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's at AFR Sports. Now back to the show featuring your hosts Jalen and Shaquille.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of this glorious show. I want to wish you all a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa, a happy Hanukkah, of course, a happy New Year.
We're very festive here, as y'all can tell. As miserable as this episode has been.
Malin, how you holding up?
I'm good. I'm great. Wonderful. And some news. Hey, let's have a shot.
Yes.
You got your apple whiskey, that pathetic excuse for whiskey. You guys pouring that yet? Nope.
We
Shaq,
are
you're slacking.
right now.
That's fine.
I thought we were gonna finish the rest of it, but I think we'll still have just a little.
Oh.
le-
So you get
Look,
the-
I'm trying to top off these shots as much as possible to make sure this bottle is.
That just means you get to disappoint yourself at another time drinking Jack
there we
Apple.
go.
What
If I
the
would disappoint
hell?
myself, I'll go back into Dayton.
Listen, right now, I just want everyone to see the shot glass from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. I take a family trip every single year. Love it. One of the best weeks that I have every single year. You guys drinking that disgusting goddamn Jack Apple? Go for it.
we
Let's
are.
do it.
Merry Christmas, folks.
News, baby. Let's go.
Rolling right into the news.
Today's top stories and breaking news.
All right, the news for the week. We're going to start off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have a laundry list of news going on here. So Chris Godwin tore his ACL on the Sunday night game against the Saints. He will be out for the rest of the season. Fournette is also going to be out the rest of the season with a hamstring injury. Excuse me. Mike Evans has a hamstring injury as well. He sounds like he's going to be kind of week to week, but they have not said that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So Tampa did sign Le'Veon Bell, I think just yesterday. It just sounds like the logical thing. Le'Veon Bell just signs with these championship contending teams, and this is just the next one on his list. But yeah, Tampa in some real hot water right now. They dropped another game to the Saints, a embarrassing one, and they've lost a few key players. Evans is week to week. Where are you guys at on Tampa right now?
I would just like to say losing players to just a snooze fest of a game is the most.
Yeah.
Is even worse part of it, and losing snooze fest of a game, which make it even worse. Tom Brady getting shut out for once, it's been
the last 15 years. Or something
That's what
like
I'm
that.
saying. It's like, wow, it's like a lot went wrong in this game for the Bucs, a lot. And of course, they for some reason pick up the Grim Reaper of championship teams, Le'Veon Bell. That's all I'm saying. This man has how many? Like you said, he's been on a few championship contender teams, and then you go to so I'm saying, common factors, Le'Veon Bell.
Malin.
Forehead Henley. Calm down just have a second. So take your bias out of Le'Veon Bell's side.
No, that's just not.
Because
I
I know he was a Steeler, then he went to the Jets, but he did go to the Super Bowl last year, but he lost to the Bucs. That did happen.
It's like a championship contender slayer.
that is rife. Okay, but like you said, Jalen, Godwin out, Fournette out, rest of the year. Evans, they're saying is day to day, so his hamstring injury isn't as bad. The problem is going forward on their path to the Super Bowl is that this is a situation that Brady, he hasn't really been in. 20 years with the Patriots, every year he went to the Super Bowl, they were relatively healthy. They weren't dealing with this many injuries to key players. There were a couple years where maybe Gronk was hurt or whatever, because Gronk always gets hurt because he's just a mammoth of a man. But, you look at their last 3 games, okay? They play Carolina, the Jets, and then Carolina again. Even without Godwin, who is number 3 in the NFL in yards. You still got Mike Evans probably coming back after next week. They're going to bring Antonio Brown back because Godwin's out. They're at the point now to where they don't care what you do off the field. They don't care what you can do on the field. So I really see them winning these next 3 games. Carolina twice and the Jets once. Like, you're probably going to go 13-4. Right. The only issue is that Green Bay has Cleveland, Minnesota, and Detroit. Their last 3 games. So Green Bay needs to lose 2 out of their last 3 for Tampa to get the number 1 seed. That's not going to happen. Like, even if they tie at 13-4, if they lose 1 to maybe Cleveland or Minnesota, I really hope to God they don't lose to Detroit, because that would just be so much fun to pick on Aaron Rodgers about. Yeah. I don't see it happening. I really don't. So even if they have the same record of 13-4, Green Bay gets the number 1 seed, which means that Tampa has to go back to Green Bay, and it's a different ball game in Lambeau Field with the fans, and you're without 2 of your top 4 players right now. And Le'Veon Bell, like, he's just a body. He's not going to be running. It's going to be Bernard is going to be running the ball. It's not going to be Le'Veon Bell. So the Bucs are in trouble. I don't want to count them out because they still have Tom Brady, and Tom Brady is still leading the lead in pass attempts, completion, yards, and touchdowns, which is insane for somebody that's 65 years old, whatever. But to beat Green Bay this year in Lambeau, you kind of have to have all hands on deck, and Tampa's not going to have that. So I do think they are in trouble when it comes to their ultimate goal, which is winning the Super Bowl. They'll win the division, but will they get to the Super Bowl? That's very much in question now.
Yeah, just goes to show, going back to back, so difficult. So difficult for everything to go right 2 consecutive years. So we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, it is TB12, so I still like their chances, but this is going to be very tough. Next up, Daniel Jones will also miss the rest of the season with a neck injury. I don't know much about this besides the fact that this was not from this most recent Sunday. Like, this was a previous injury that I guess is more serious than what they took it for initially. But yeah, Jones will miss the rest of the year. Giants fans, this is just more great news to your ears with a very disappointing season that you guys have had. Really wish Evan was going to be on this week, but here we are with the dream team once again for 16 weeks in a row. Anyway, Shaq, what you think about DJ missing the rest of the year?
I mean, it's unfortunate to have somebody miss a whole year of their career based off of injury. Injury is very disappointing. I always wish people great recovery, but, you know, with this team's position,
he's probably in a really good spot right now.
Exactly. It's kind of like
Balin.
Well, COVID must have hit Shaq hard because he's only missed like 4 games so far, so it's not the whole year. But listen, like, is it unfortunate for someone like Daniel Jones? Yeah, well, I mean, okay. I'm not gonna make a forehead joke. I'm going to be a nice person. So
it shows business. Not
so
be nice.
It is, but I'm gonna be nice because I'm trying to turn over a leaf. Shaq, don't go ahead and like unbutton something. Give me that opportunity. I saw you.
Are you under the impression that Shaq has buttons on his shirt?
He does, doesn't he? Does he not?
No, he's just wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, I was like,
there's no buttons on that shirt.
It is.
Oh.
Have you seen the cord from the headphones?
The video quality is terrible, apparently. I thought he had some buttons on that t-shirt. That would be a
potato.
First of all, America, let's not forget the fact that Shaq is wearing the most basic shirt possible because he doesn't want me to give him shit over his shirt choices in life. So he's just
come back to
wearing a
me.
plain
Let's come back to
shirt.
me on my shirt choice.
Because listen, over the last, I don't know, 19 years, it's probably been terrible, but it's pretty good right now. But anyways, so Daniel Jones,
60 weeks.
neck issues. neck issues are not what they were. I mean, hell, Peyton Manning had a neck issue, and what did he do? He went to the Broncos, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl, even though his body was broken down. But he still, at that time, was able to set records as a quarterback, with touchdowns, yards, all that stuff. And at this point, listen, man, if Seattle wanted to go ahead and trade for Daniel Jones and 2 number 1 picks, which the Giants have, I would probably take that deal. Because Wilson is not playing good, and I know Sierra wants to be in New York. Because I do think that Daniel Jones could be one of those products of, it could be like Steve Young. Played for the Bucks, they sucked. Went to the Niners, won a Super Bowl. One of the best left-handed quarterbacks that ever played the game in the Hall of Fame. Maybe Daniel Jones could be that in another organization because I do think he's talented. But I don't think that the Giants have been able to put the talent around him in the passing game and the defense. And Saquon Barkley has not been able to stay healthy. So you can't really count him. So I do think that if he went somewhere else, I think he could be a lot more successful.
Yes, agree 1,000%. Next up, staying in New York, the Nets are bringing back, or have brought back, Kyrie Irving part-time for away games since they have been riddled with COVID and are just looking for anybody to come play the game of basketball for them. So they had to make that I'm sure that was a great phone call to go call Kyrie and say, hey, we're going to Washington next week. You think you can come play for us? But what do you guys think about Kyrie coming back, presumably temporarily, to play in away games?
With enough struggle and desperation, your opportunity will come. It just goes to show, stand by whatever the hell you believe in, because for the most part, people will.
They always come crawling back.
Exactly. They got that Thanos line rolling there. This man just waiting at his house like, that phone gonna ring any moment now. And get ready for me.
And where did that leave you? Right back to me.
Exactly. Then there's one more player that could be, the whole city of New York could be like, you know what? Home games ain't that too bad. It's one man. Go ahead and play him home games too. So that man just waiting for his time to shine. It's all right. I see Kyrie.
Malin.
Well, I mean, he kind of gets the best of both worlds because he doesn't get booed by the home crowd because they hate him. So he only goes on away games. But we're still acting on the premise that the NBA isn't going to come out with new protocols after the first of the year because of the new variant that's come out. I mean, shit, the NHL has suspended everything until after the holidays, after the first of the year. They've already said that they're not going to send their hockey players to the Olympics. So they've already suspended stuff. The NBA is like, we don't even know what type of Christmas lineup we're going to get with everything that's going on with COVID. And so is the NBA really going to make it easy for someone like Kyrie Irving to just play road games who's unvaccinated when everything's kind of popping off with COVID? I think there's going to be something that's going to come down after the first year. It's probably going to make it to where he can't do it. He's going to go back to playing NBA 2K or Madden 22 or whatever it is. He's going to be bored out of his goddamn mind. But at the end of the day, he wants his money. So that's why he's going to come back and play. Because if the Nets say they want him to come back and play, he's going to come back and play, because if he doesn't, then they can void the contract and you don't get that goddamn money. But at the end, like, Kyrie, I mean, he's a joke. Like, really? Like, he believes the earth is flat. Do I need to say anything else? Do I really need to say anything else? The earth is flat according to this person.
Walk right off.
G-Money says if Durant and Harden were healthy, Kyrie would be at home looking at his flat earth map. It's a desperate move on the part of the Nets. Yeah, it definitely seems like as soon as they're back at, not full force, but as soon as they can, he'll probably be going right back home.
Look, this man is
and
playing. I say this man is playing not out of money. Clearly, this man has his guaranteed money that's getting out of things. This man's playing purely probably because of legacy type of thing. He wants to remember as Kyrie, yes, the man who can ball, which he can, but also the man who stuck by his ways and got what he wanted out of it. So it's kind of what he's trying to go for. Like, look, they gonna make me play one way or another because they're gonna need me. I don't mind sitting home playing 2K.
all I'm saying, I never want to just live like question somebody's intelligence, right? You're talking about a man that has gotten on a plane the bare minimum 41 times a year during his career. Still believes the earth is flat. Okay? So forgive me if I don't trust his judgment on COVID or whatever dumbass thing he thinks that they should be doing with it.
Moving right along into the next segment of the news here. The Lakers ended up signing Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract. I have to give huge props to the Lakers for going out and getting IT, former Celtic in his heyday. He's been playing all right as a Laker so far. This is his second stint with the Lakers, actually. He was there a few years ago, but he's back for now. They went out and got him while Russ was out for a COVID protocol thing. He was only out for like a couple days, though. And then Russ came right back in to save the day. And, yeah, he's right back to being Russ. But they do have IT for now. Do you guys think that he will be staying around? Or is this just after the 10 days, he'll probably be gone?
Let me go and take this one first, Shaq. Sit back with your little gray shirt there.
He's a Tacoma native, right?
He is. He's a Tacoma native, and I'm a Tacoma native. And I love that man. Wait, what did he just say?
Go ahead. Don't even worry about it.
Shaq over there talking shit like if he didn't shave his head, there wouldn't be a second move and throw the earth off his asses. That's fine. I love the man. He played for the Huskies. He won a Pac-10, Pac-12 title, whatever it was back then. But the simple fact of the matter is, like, he's hurt himself so many times. There's been a lot of injuries, his hip, a knee injury. And when he's played for the Lakers this year, he was, in the beginning, he scored 19 points his first game. And he scored 13 points. He scored 3 points. I just don't think that we're going to ever see the Isaiah Thomas that was playing for Boston, that was putting up like mad numbers back in the day. He comes in and out of the league, 10-day contracts. I do think it's disrespectful to him because I think he earned himself a spot in the NBA based off of what he did. And I think he's good enough to come off the bench on any NBA roster. I would love to see him sign an actual contract, not just a 10-day contract, because he did it last year with somebody. Yeah. But is he making the impact that the Lakers need? Absolutely not. Because they're injury-ridden, they're old. LeBron James at some point is going to break down. It's not going to be good. Anthony Davis is not doing what Anthony Davis needs to do. Russell Westbrook is doing everything that everyone thought that Russell Westbrook would do. He's just turning the ball over all the goddamn time and just making stupid ass shots. Like, I don't know what he thought he was doing when he scored that mid-range jumper and acted like he was cradling a baby. And then later on in the game got his shit just blocked. Like, hey, listen, we're just going to send you down into the heavens. In fact, we're gonna beat you down like you're a Mormon and send you down to the third heaven. It was just fucking ridiculous. So I really wish that Isaiah Thomas would get the shot that he deserves, but it's probably not going to happen. I'm glad he's in the NBA, but from 19 to 3 points in 3 games, I mean, shit, he was 1 of 11 his last game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you can't even accredit it to like, oh, he only got a couple shots up. You're right. He had 11 attempts. So there's that. But the other thing is Lakers don't necessarily need him much. Like, they still have, obviously, Westbrook, Rondo, THT is there. LeBron handles the ball. Like, they have, as far as handling the ball goes, they're okay.
Wait a minute. Do they need him? Westbrook is on the team. Yes, they need him.
Well, when you put it like that.
Like, they need him. Good Lord.
Him rocking the baby on Mikal Bridges, who is considerably bigger than him, and then getting swatted right back down is the funniest shit to me.
Well, the whole goddamn game was just funny because LeBron James walked in with a cigar like it was a victory cigar. And yes, he played out of his mind. And I love the fact that he keeps playing out of his mind. But I'm like, damn, Bron, like, know who your team is. Like, you're lucky to get a play-in spot at this point. Like, the team is terrible and the West is stacked. Like, what are you doing?
That whole team is just oh man, they're funny to me. I have to give LeBron a ton of props. That man has to have the most patience of anybody right now, because I know he's sitting there looking at Westbrook turn over the ball time and time again, and he doesn't show it, but you know he's got to be like, what the hell are you doing? Again, why do you keep jumping in the air with no plan on where this ball is going?
And listen, Jalen, you did call it at the beginning of the year. You called it that the Lakers were old. They were going to be injury-ridden the whole year. You called it. I didn't listen. It's one of the few times I'm going to say you're right, even though you're wearing a shirt with another man's name on it. You were right.
Yeah. Shaq, everything to say about this?
I mean, like you said, Lakers are like a circus to watch right now. It's always a different sort and type of entertainment that you get from night in, night out. Russ being the main clown in the circus.
It's gotten to the point where I will turn on their games just to have a good laugh. Like, they're just pure comedy.
Unfortunate is, like you said, homeboy doesn't get the respect that he deserves, and he deserves more than a 10-day fucking contract from a team. But unfortunately, that's the attention he's getting right now.
It's the business at the end of the day. But
I hate the fact that Shaq agrees with me, and I'm also a little bit nervous about the fact that Shaq was just stroking his arm like he's missing a hit of heroin or something. That made me a little nervous, like doing the whole thing there, Shaq. That was a little weird.
Heroin, the poor man's drug. Definitely not Valium going up with. I'm not saying that I'm rich, but definitely not.
That's the it Shaq gets when he hasn't talked about Dwight Howard in 5 minutes.
I need that hit of the Dwight Howard conversation.
Shaq isn't poor because he works for, like a hospital. So, they get paid a lot of money. So, he's not poor at all. Go ahead, Shaq.
Sure.
We're gonna move into the last topic of the day here with the ride or die in 58 minutes. Yeah, folks, this is
I feel
the
like that's
segment.
a shot at me. That's not right.
That is a shot on everybody on this goddamn show. This is the segment where we predict 5 games within the next little while on the show here. So we've got since this is a Christmas episode, we've got all Christmas Day games in NFL and NBA. Currently, our records are 28-32 for Shaq and I. Yeah, 28-32 for both Shaq and I. And then Malin is at 14-5 right now.
Damn right.
So we're gonna start off with the NFL. Cleveland at the Packers. Packers are 7.5 point favorites at home. The over/unders 45 points. This game is 4:30 this Christmas. Malin, you being the leader in this segment, what do you like in this game?
Well, I mean, they're at Green Bay, so that means that Baker Mayfield can't have book club or popcorn party or anything. It is his home team, like he does all his goddamn commercials. No, Green Bay is getting healthy while Cleveland is still hurt. They're gonna get Aaron Jones back. If you're giving me 7.5 points, that's more than a touchdown. With Aaron Rodgers, it doesn't matter how much that man wants to look like John Wick. He is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I will take Green Bay with the point, 7.5, all day.
I'm going to second that. I think the Packers are going to blow the doors off them. If Baker's back, doesn't matter. I just don't see the Packers playing a close game to the Cleveland Browns at Lambeau Field on Christmas. Like, this is a great gift for the Packers. They're going to take full advantage of this. I say they smoke them at home. Shaq.
Clearly y'all don't listen week in and week out if I have me go first on predictions. Cause y'all like hating yourselves. Cause I will also
do it.
I will
God
also
damn it.
go Green Bay on the points.
Son of a bitch.
It's Baker Mayfield. Even with healthy Baker Mayfield team, I would still take them. Look, it's A-Rod. Y'all show some respect.
Well,
Y'all do
I'm
better
about
next
to be
time.
14-6, America.
We're gonna stay in the NFL here. The other Christmas game, Colts at Cardinals. This is basically a pick'em game. Over/unders 49.5. This is the night game. Shaq, we will start with you this time for sure. What do you like in this one?
I say you take the Cardinals to win this one. We just talked about how inconsistent the Colts can be. Cardinals kind of need to maintain some sort of victory or win some games throughout, and this is where they need to start. They cannot lose their spot where they are in the division, so I would say the Colts. I mean, not the Colts, but the Cards to win this one out.
I am going to hesitantly agree with Shaq on this one for similar reasons. Like, both teams are pretty inconsistent right now, but the Cardinals, I still think that they will end up winning their division, and they're going to have to win this game if they want to do that. So if this was in Indy, I would say the Colts, but since it's at Arizona, I say they take care of business at home, taking the Cards on this one. Malin?
All right. Well, this is why I'm 14-5 because I'm going to go against you guys.
All right.
Listen. Back in 2019, the Cardinals lost 5 out of the last 8. Back in 2020, they lost 5 out of the last 7. There was no reason to think that the Cardinals are all of a sudden going to become a great December team. Their backs are against the wall. The Rams are already tied with them, and the Cardinals have the tiebreaker at this point. But the pressure's on. Okay. Indianapolis is a great running team that goes against the Cardinals' strength on defense. And so I'm going to go ahead and take Arizona because you're giving me 1 point. Like, it's a pick'em game. If it's at Arizona, every team at home gets 3 points. So then if you go inside of 3 points for the away team, Vegas is saying it's basically a pick'em game. So I'm going to take Indianapolis on this game.
All right. Fair enough. We're going to move right into the NBA. So there's obviously a slew of different NBA games every Christmas. So we're going to start with the Boston Celtics at the Milwaukee Bucks. This is at 2:30 on Saturday. I'm going to stick with my trend of the home teams on this one. Fortunately, Mainland, our Celtics are as inconsistent as they get. They are exactly what the record says they are, a right around 500 team, and we will maintain that by losing this next game to keep us at about 500. So we will lose the Milwaukee Bucks probably by like 10 points too. So yeah, I'm saying the Bucks win this one. Malin?
I don't want to give a point. I'm sad. Listen, they've lost they've lost 5 out of the last 7. Okay, it's not good. So, yes, Milwaukee. There's nobody right now going into this game on Christmas. It's on COVID protocol or anything else. So if you're giving me who's available right now, yes, Milwaukee is going to just stomp them. I hate it. I don't like it. But that's what's going to happen.
Shaq.
I'm also going to take Milwaukee to win this game.
Celtics might actually win this damn thing.
Shaq.
All right.
God damn it.
All the shade and hate going on. Say the score will be like 110-98 type of game.
Okay. Fair enough. Next one. Warriors at the Suns. This is a great matchup this year. This is at 5 o'clock this Saturday. I am once again going to stick with the trend of the home teams. Last time these two teams met, the Warriors were able to pull off the win. I say the Suns at home this time. They were able to beat the Warriors. Shaq.
I'm going to take the Warriors on this one to win this game.
Okay. All right.
Something about the Warriors striking me in this game. Steph playing his typical ways, hopefully ball out this game. I was just praying. I said, accept me all face.
Mainly, go ahead.
All right. Well, 55% of the money is going on Phoenix right now. They're still the most consistent, best team in the NBA at home. I'm going to take the Suns on this one.
I like it. Last but not least, the night game, 8 o'clock. The Nets go to the Staples Center to play the Lakers. I'm pretty sure this is the first time these two teams have met this year. We'll see who's available to play in this game, if it's going to be as entertaining as it should be. But this is where my trend of picking the home team stops. Right here, I say the Nets end up winning this game. Kyrie will be out there to play. I think this will be a great game. At the end of the day, last week I had picked the Lakers to win, and then Shaq picked after me, and then he also picked the Lakers to win. Russell Westbrook was playing at improved basketball, and then as soon as Shaq picked that, Russell Westbrook said, "Hold on a minute, turnovers." He went right back to his old ways. And now this man is back to eating turnovers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I am not picking the Lakers again on this godforsaken show. Give me the Nets on the road on Christmas, Malin.
All right. First of all, Shaq, don't you fucking do it. Don't you do it.
Like I said, y'all picking to pick in the wrong order. It ain't my fault. I already got my decision. I can't change it.
Don't you do it. All right, listen, man. Brooklyn and LA. I mean, come on. With Kyrie now, Kyrie. I don't know. He might have a pudge like Harden had when he joined the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know, because that man ain't played basketball in a while. But I'm still gonna take the Brooklyn Nets to win this game because the Lakers are just dysfunctional as all. Damn, get out. Shaq, don't make me mad. Don't do it, Shaq. Don't do it.
Shaq, who do you have?
I'm going to say that a particular team up north is going to win this game because Russ is going to be like...
God damn you.
Russ is going to be like, I'm stuck in my ways. I'm gonna go ahead and play Russ basketball. I'm gonna get my triple double. I'm gonna turn the ball over like 5 times in the process. But
You guys want to hear a funny stat about Russell Westbrook?
was it a stat that I said?
I'm not sure, but over the past 8 years, for 4 of those years, he's been second in turnovers. The other 4 of those years, he's been first in turnovers.
I mean,
but yeah, has the record for the most triple doubles in basketball.
Asinine.
listen. Skip Bayless on Fox Sports. He hates LeBron James. We all know that, right?
Right.
Yeah. He even says, and I love this, that Russell Westbrook is the best thing that happened to the Lakers because it means that they're going to lose like all the time. And he even said that even though Russell Westbrook grew up being a Lakers fan, he'll never be a Laker because he's destined to be like the first stint of Dwight Howard with the Lakers. Like, just terrible. Like, they're going to hate the fact that he was ever a Laker.
Yep.
It's terrible. And I don't like the fact that Shaq put me on the losing end on this because this means that somehow LeBron James will go out of his goddamn mind and win the game. But God bless you, Shaq. I love you.
This is also admitting that Dwight Howard is god awful. This is a lesson I come down to.
We had to come back to old Dwight.
Can we bring to the record that Malin did bring him up first? Not me. I'm just finishing off the subject that we are admitting that Dwight Howard is god fucking awful.
I hope you stand up and stub your toe. That's what I hope.
That's what it feels like for me to watch my team every Sunday. If I have to take my naked toe or run into the corner of a bar somewhere.
It's very descriptive.
Well, ain't nobody want to picture nothing you got naked, okay? Whether it's a toe or nothing else. Like, just calm down.
Hence why I got no kids. But
that ain't the reason you. Okay, now I'm gonna be nice. I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm turning over.
Man, that leaf has flipped over like 50 times throughout the show.
I'm not gonna say it.
I think we all can imagine where you were going to go with that one.
Ain't nothing but mad disrespect going on in the show. People are like, yeah, the co-hosts, all the co-hosts on the show love each other, show each other respect. Then they watch an episode of the show and just like, yo.
You're not describing this show. Before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you guys real quick, just right off the top.
And nothing's real quick on the show. Go ahead.
That's true. Shaq, your team, you're in this gauntlet right now. You have to play the Chiefs on the road this Sunday at 4:30. Can you give me a score prediction?
We're gonna get worked in the first half of the game, and for some reason the Chiefs are gonna fall apart. I say this game comes within a touchdown for some godforsaken reason. I'm gonna say the score is gonna come to 21-17 towards the end of this game.
Okay, mainly
On the Chiefs' end, Chiefs are gonna win this
of course.
Rude. Disrespectful. I didn't need that.
Went without saying, but
all right.
Continuous.
We'll go 42-13 Chiefs.
God damn. And I assume the Chiefs will run all 42 of them points within the first half of football.
Listen, man. You can't give me a quarterback that throws for less than 150 yards and a running back that runs for less than 20 yards.
1 week.
And the thing
1 week.
Mahomes, no, 1 week, whatever. Shut up. You don't get to defend your team now, Shaq. You don't get to do that.
This was a positive week for my team. I don't know what you're
Listen, listen. Shut up and take the L. It's gonna happen.
I've been doing that for the past 12, 13 weeks. Leave me alone.
Listen, Shaq over there itching his arms because he's having withdrawals over a good Steelers team. That's just not happening.
For the sake of my job,
42-13.
For the sake of my job, I'm not having withdrawals. Thank you. I would like to go to work tomorrow and be peaceful.
I'm going to piggyback off of Shaq's. I'm going to say 24-17. I think they'll throw a field goal in there for the Chiefs. Yeah. We'll say this, though. Let the Steelers fuck around and win this game. See what happens when Shaq comes in here next week.
Next week will be next week will be the week that like Shaq has like Tourette's. Like he talks good one week, fucks on him the next week. Like that's what'll happen.
All I'm saying is if you fuck around and win this game against the Chiefs next week, I'm sitting here talking shirtless about my team in positive manner throughout the whole subject of the team.
Okay.
He's gonna talk about plain shirt. Y'all gonna be sitting here and seeing about nothing black skin out throughout the whole segment of my head.
Ain't nobody needs to see Shaq zipples. That does not need to happen.
But fuck around and let the Steelers win next week, though. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen, my mom is like 75 years old. Okay, so her eyesight is like hanging on her hair.
It's
fuck
nothing.
around and make her go
Your
blind.
mother's gonna be like, why?
My mom needs to like have her eyesight when we go to Vegas. So
It's
don't
okay.
take your shirt off and blind somebody.
Jalen will dim the lights,
That's
and
disrespectful.
Jalen could dim the lights next week, and your mother's could be like, "Why is Jalen alone on this show this week?"
Listen, if y'all dim the lights, we're gonna have to, make a petition for a different type of show. Like we ain't dimming no goddamn lights. Get your fucking shirt on.
That's when Joe's gonna come on next week. And Pornhub, you can watch us on there.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you take your shirt off, Morgan's gonna pop up. Okay. So we don't.
That's all I'm saying. That is the circumstances that's coming on next week for our show. That if we mess around and win this game by any sort of chance, bet.
Or we could have Milan's outcome of 40+ points to 13.
Goddamn right.
I apologize.
Morgan be playing Fortnite, and he'll all of a sudden look at him and be like, "Jalen, those are Jalen zipples. Hey, I need to get on this show. Not Jalen, Shaq. I'm sorry. Shaq, stop rubbing yourself. They ain't even won yet. God damn it. Take your hand off your chest.
He's warming up.
There might be children watching.
First of all, if you got children watching this show, you already got bad parenting skills going on.
Shame on you.
Exactly. Your children are already ruined.
Folks, that's going to do it for this week's show. We want to thank you all for watching and or listening. I want to wish you all a very happy holiday. And we do have one more episode before the end of the year, so we will make sure that is a special one for you guys at home. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get out of here?
That this show actually ended before 11:30, so that's damn sure.
It has not ended yet, so let's pause that.
6-minute outro.
So I do need to make an amendment, people.
All right, there we go. That's 6-minute outro I was looking for.
Hold on. I may or may not have said that my mom is 75 years old, but I'm pretty sure she's 70 years old.
Hey, what the hell is going on here?
You owe your mom a 5-minute apology.
Yeah. Well, no, listen, you don't want a 5-minute apology out of me because this show's going to go on for another 30 minutes. So, my mother is 70 years old.
Time works.
Not 75. Gonna kick the shit out of me the next time she sees me with a 70-year-old body.
Some sort of Doctor Strange time realm this show runs off of.
More ways than one.
Fucked around and found out on that one.
The show runs off.
I'm already. I'm already getting text messages from my mom right now, so this is not looking good for me afterwards, fellas.
I just want to say, ma'am, I appreciate you very much for watching this show. So please don't hate
Amen.
me. Thank you for advocating for the pillows the other week on the show.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
At this point, Shaq, just like start rubbing nipples again. Like, don't try to butter up to my mom.
Look,
dirty ass man. My mom is not going to date you. She's already married. All right. I lost my co-host. He disappeared. So apparently I have to end the show. So thank you, America. We love you so much for listening to the show. Jalen's going to go ahead and end it because nobody's coherent but me, which is weird. So go ahead and peace out. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.